So we just finished a day and a half within a day. A deep dive into the work of the Harwood Innovators Lab, compacted into one day. We had a great group of people, must have been 40, 45 of us, staff and volunteers, and we had some major learnings, some discoveries, some insights.
And high engagement as well.
Yeah.
I was really pleased with the level of involvement by board members and community volunteers and staff. I'm very excited by the interest, the high interest here. And as we had the bathroom conversations and lunch conversains.
I wasn't in those, was I? In those bathroom conversations?
I was going to say some of them, not all of them.
Quite a bit of reflection already, and I think that people are interested in just stepping back and really thinking about a lot of what was heard. But I think new insights was a term that I heard quite a bit of. So I think it was very successful.
And I was really impressed with the different perspectives in the room, because we all, as Richard said over and over again, we all tend to look at things through our own lens, you know, from our own perspective. And there were some people in the room that raised some very important questions and challenging questions that pointed out not only intellectually but from the heart, how do we engage people, and maybe even where is the resistance that we're going to experience. And those are the kinds of conversations where I'm like, you know, I would have never thought of that.
Right.
You know, we need more of that kind of conversation.
It was a whole lot different than the experience that we went through when we went to Alexandria, where we had a bunch of United Way professionals
Right.
going through this.
Exactly.
I thought this was a richer experience.
Excellent
Much
point.
more focused.
Yeah, and I think what you could see is, you know, look, you had people around the table who've been working at this for years, who have really committed large segments of their life to improving this community and this region, and yet they were willing to say, okay, let's explore another way to do this. Let's figure out how we can put a different stake in the ground and be realistic about the change that we want to create, but hold ourselves accountable for the pledges that we're going to make, and see if we can do business in a new way. In a lot of communities, people aren't willing to step up after their many years of involvement, and in this case they were. And I think that holds great promise for the community.
You know, it's interesting that you say that, because there was a woman at our table who is fairly new to the New Haven community. And one of the comments that she made to me at a break time was how impressed she was with the level of commitment that residents in the community have towards making things better. And I said, well, wasn't that true in the community you came from? She said, yes, to a certain extent. She said the level and the depth of the commitment is very palatable here in New Haven. And I just thought that was a wonderful, you know, sometimes we're here and we don't see it because we can't see it. And that was a great reminder. And I know she was very appreciative of being part of this dialogue.
So in that sense, there's a real asset to tap into, which is a sense of place.
Yes.
Right? Sense of place, which a lot of communities simply don't have anymore.
We were right about one thing when we were in Alexandria. We were convinced that a larger group needed to be a part of this. And I think I'm just so excited because I see this as a new beginning. Beginning of a different conversation, a different level of involvement, discussions around how do we fit, how do we make this happen. So I think it changes the conversation. So I'm excited, very excited.
Yeah, I need to compliment you on your dogged determination to stick to the knitting. I mean, people took you all over the sandlot today, and I found it really, really extraordinary that you were able to bring people back to some very simple principles and some very straightforward concepts. And I think that they're really going to, that kind of rigidity in a positive sense, I think, is is something that this organization can really benefit from.
Great job.
I said to Richard, so how do we clone him
Yes,
and put
I
him in
know.
your back pocket,
Right.
Jack, so as we continue to make progress, we will stick to the knitting,
Right.
so to speak.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for this effort. We are going to do it again tomorrow
Yes.
with
I'll
about
be here.
100 people in the community, and
We'll
it should
make
be
good things
great.
happen, yeah.
Yeah, so thanks.
Good,
Looking
I'm
forward to
glad
it.
to be in New Haven.
Oh, good.